Today we're diving into the day 1 meta for Warzone following the launch of Season 1 and Black Ops 6 integration. With the addition of the BO6 weapons, plus significant nerfs to MW2 and 3 guns, the meta is seeing a massive shakeup. While we'll be focusing on the early best loadouts, we won't dive deep into perks just yet. We'll need a little more time to test and fine-tune those recommendations. That said, let's quickly touch on a few perks that stand out so far. Dexterity reduces weapon motion while sliding, diving, and jumping, and combines the reduced fall damage of Mountaineer. Seems like an obvious choice for slot 1. With Quick Fix combining its previous abilities of starting health regen when you kill somebody or start inserting plates, and the ability to plate just single-handed and allowing you to hip fire while doing so, make it a real interesting choice in slot 2 and one I'm running with right now. With Gung Ho reducing movement penalties while reloading and using equipment, and giving you the new ability to reload while tack sprinting rather than just standard sprinting, give it the chance to be a game changer in this new version of Warzone, especially with the slow reload speeds we're currently experiencing in the game. Once we have more clarity, I'll create a full perk guide. For now, the focus is loadouts. You'll notice a pattern across these builds. The long-range weapons will use either a suppressor or a compensator depending on whether you prioritize staying off the minimap or controlling recoil. For optics, it will depend on playstyle and map size. Reflex sights for resurgence maps and 2 to 3x scopes for larger maps seem to be the way people are going. Personally, I love the Willis 3X. It reminds me of the axial arms from Cold War, and I feel more able to control recoil with it than a reflex and will be running it myself regardless of game mode or map size. The XMG is an absolute powerhouse for long-range engagements on big maps, making it one of the best choices for players focusing on positioning and holding power. But let me be clear, as an LMG it comes with trade-offs. The slower movement speed and sluggish aim down sight make it less effective for aggressive players or resurgent style gameplay. Suppressor or the ported compensator, it's all about your preference. If you want to stay off the map, run the suppressor. If you're looking for some extra help with recoil, run the ported compensator. Run the reinforced barrel for increases to both damage range and bullet velocity. The vertical foregrip to help manage that horizontal recoil. Commando grip for the ADS and sprint to fire improvements. I just feel like I will never be in a position where the ergonomic grip's benefits to slide and dive to fire behavior will ever be of benefit to me. I'll save that for SMGs, which will be the weapon I'll have out when those situations occur. Like we were discussing before with the optics, run a reflex, run a 2 to 3x. Again, I prefer the Willis 3x, so that's what I'm running. If you're looking to dominate at long distances, the XMG will not disappoint. Just remember that it's built for holding lanes and long-range duels, not the close quarters chaos of resurgence, and the slow movement is just not worth it on those maps in my opinion. Next we have the GPR-91, which seems to be the early fan favorite among players, creators, and pros. Many are leaning towards this AR due to its versatility, low recoil, and solid TTK across all ranges. While it might not be my personal favorite, it's undeniably strong and easy to use, making it a great choice for everybody. Again, suppressor, quarter compensator, whichever one is your choice, whatever you want to get out of it, either one will do just fine. And again, themes. Reinforced barrel for the added damage range and bullet velocity. I don't have that unlocked, even though I have this gun up to diamond. That's something we covered in the video above if you want to take a look and check out and kind of get a little more information there. I opt for the long barrel for the increased damage range, but you can't go wrong with the gain twist, which gives you the bullet velocity. Again, it's going to be your preference as to what you think's more important. Again, we're going to run the vertical foregrip for that added horizontal recoil control on all our ARs and long-range guns. I'm going to run the Willis 3X on all of my long-range guns, as I said before, for the reasons I've given you about how I just feel I love the sight picture. It gives me the reminiscence of the axial arms from Cold War, and I just like the way it looks, it feels, everything like that. So if you have an optic like that for yourself, use it. We're going to want to run Extended Mag 2 on most of our ARs, unlike the XMG, which comes standard with the 75 rounds being an LMG. We can't run the stock mags. This build offers balanced performance and will suit players on both Resurgence and Big Map. It's a great all-around weapon to start with for sure. Moving on to the AK-74, this weapon feels nostalgic to me. It's a classic that brings back memories of all COD games of past. But don't let nostalgia fool you. Statistically, the AK is one of the fastest TTK assault rifles in the game, sitting just behind the Goblin MK2. putting to Cup of Joe, T-Captain X in their work over at GGs.ai. However, the Goblin being a single shot weapon makes the AK the better all-around choice for most players. For this, I would highly recommend the Ported Compensator, as this has a lot more recoil than the other choices we have here, but if you want to stay off the mini-map, absolutely run the Suppressor. Again, we're going to run the Reinforced Barrel for the damage, range, and bullet velocity, Vertical Foregrip for that horizontal control. The AK has a bit of a choice here, depending on your game mode and playstyle. If you're like me and you play a lot of solos, maybe solo duo sometimes, Extended Mag 2 with the 45 rounds is the way to go, because it keeps the handling characteristics manageable. Now, if you're playing some of the bigger map, or you're playing trios or quads, I would opt for Extended Mag 3. It gets you 55 rounds, but it does have some movement downside. So it just depends on how you're playing, what you want to do, and what works best for you. And again, with the optic, work what's best for you. Again, I'm going to run the Willis 3X. This is an amazing option for high-skilled players and who don't mind the challenge of controlling recoil while maximizing your TTK. It's a gun that rewards skill and is a strong contender for the top AR spot. Now let's talk about the XM4, which is my personal favorite AR in the game right now. This gun feels incredibly reliable and smooth, and it reminds me of it handled back in Cold War. It's nostalgic for many, but it also performs exceptionally well in the current meta with the TTK not far behind the AK and way more manageable recoil. Ported Compensator for recoil control, or Suppressor to stay off the minimap, again, your call. Reinforced Barrel for damage, range, and bullet velocity, but again, even with this thing diamond and up to level 40 of 44, I don't have it unlocked. Again, I'm going to run the long barrel in its place. Vertical Foregrip for the horizontal recoil control. Extended Mag 2 gets us up to 60 rounds, and then I'm running the Willis 3X. You run your optic that you want to go with. The XM4 is versatile, consistent, extremely low recoil, and just fun to use. Perfect for the mid-range fights and resurgence modes. If you're looking for a close-range beast that combines excellent mobility with deadly time to kill, the PP919, the Bison is your weapon. It's all about speed and efficiency, making it ideal for resurgence or any fast-paced playstyle. And because the default mag is 64 rounds, you save an attachment to solve for something else like ADS or recoil. I prefer suppressors on my SMGs because I want to stay off the mini-map and don't want to be picking when we're in close quarters battles and there's 1, 2, 3 opponents. Even if I'm playing solos, often if I'm third partying or might be getting third partied, I don't want that other person to know where I'm at. Sticking with the themes, we're going to run the Reinforced Barrel. That way we can get that increase to bullet velocity and damage range to help us in those sort of mid-range 10 to 20 meter battles where you're kind of in between SMG and AR. As I alluded to earlier, I'm going to run the ergonomic grip on my SMGs because I want that increase to slide and dive to fire and ADS benefits that you get from this one, which I think is so important in your SMGs. I like to balance stock of my SMGs for the increases to all the different types of movement speed, strafing, movement overall, aim walking, and hip fire. I think it's just so important in your SMGs to get that fine balance there and be able to increase your movement speeds, make you more difficult target to hit in your close quarters combat. In your final slot, I run the Kepler Reflex sight because I can't use iron sights for the life of me. That's a me thing. If you're good with irons, try out a couple of different options. If you need some help with the recoil, try the recoil springs. Or run overpressured for the extra bullet velocity and range, okay? Whatever's gonna work better for you. Whatever you do, do not run rapid fire. The trade-offs with the decrease in damage, lower range, lower velocity just are not worth it, and you're gonna bleed through ammo as well. Last but not least is the Jackal, which I think is just going to be the meta when it comes to the SMGs in your tight space quarters battles. Loadout and everything's going to be completely the same, your build as it was with the Bison. The only difference is on this one, because it doesn't have that 64 round mag, we're going to switch from the Reinforced Barrel and run Extended Mag 1. I just don't think the hits to ADS and movement speed are worth it for going to Extended Mag 2 to pick up those extra 10 rounds. The Jackal has the fastest TTK up close and is easily the early favorite of close quarters. I think it's the top tier right now. Remember, this is just the beginning of the meta cycle. As more weapons and attachments get tested, we'll see new builds emerge. Once we're able to see the adjustments made to the MW2 and 3 guns, we'll be able to know if any of those slip into the meta. As a bonus, the RAL single shot is making its way back according to Breadman. And if you were a fan of that, check it out. We'll keep testing and tweaking these setups and bring you updated loadouts as the meta evolves. Keep the energy high, the vibes positive, and until next time, spread the love, fam. Catch you in the next one.